Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to my colleagues on the floor of the House of Representatives for voting unanimously for House Resolution 657, the Leyte landing in the Philippines. Hours after Pearl Harbor was attacked on December 7th, 1941, December 8th, 1941, the Japanese onslaught began against MacArthur's forces in the Philippines. The United States had to withdraw its naval power, and essentially those that were marooned at Corregidor and the Bataan Peninsula and other places were left to fend for themselves. From December of 1941 until May of 1942, those forces valiantly held out. Franklin Delano Roosevelt ordered MacArthur out with his staff and his family in March of 1942. In a storied career that began in the old American West, he was born in 1880. He entered the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1899. In 1903, he finished first in his class, fought in the Mexican campaign, the First World War, later on became the superintendent of the academy, and then from 1936 until 1951, he began a period of uninterrupted service, whereas he did not return to the United States during that period of time. But in October of 1944, 70 years ago this month, Douglas MacArthur returned back to the Philippines to fulfill his promise to the American and the Philippine people. And at that moment where he landed at Leyte Gulf, and incidentally the fighting had just begun, and that fighting would endure in the Philippines until the end of the war, costing tens of thousands of American lives and an estimated 1 million Filipino lives, Douglas MacArthur said, "By the grace of Almighty God, our forces stand again on Philippine soil." And so I thank you for joining me in commemorating that 70th anniversary of the return of MacArthur and United States forces to the Philippines. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thanks.